I started taking photos in high school, so I really started like in the dark room. So that's what I studied while I was in college. Like after I graduated, I kind of floated around for a bit. I didn't know what to do, but then I found an opportunity. Decided to move to Korea and be an English teacher. And once I got here and like just seeing Seoul and like the whole country of Korea and how beautiful it was. And just I had my camera already, so I was good to go. And yeah, I think like the rest is history. I've just been taking photos ever since I got here from day one.
Beautiful. Okay, hi James.
Hello.
Nice to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Can you give us just a short introduction about yourself?
Yeah, my name is James. I am from the US. I've been living here in Seoul for about 4 years now. In the daytime, I'm an English teacher at an English hagwon kindergarten. And the rest of the time I'm out taking photos, doing photography.
I've really enjoyed looking through your photos, the works
thank
you've
you.
done so far.
Thank you.
What was your first impression when you landed in Korea and started to photograph? What in particular struck you most?
Well, I'm from St. Louis,
Right.
which is definitely not a city like Seoul at all. So like Seoul is so huge, it's massive. For example, I remember the first time I went to Dongdaemun. I went to the Dongdaemun Design Plaza and I walked around kind of the streets nearby there. And it really was unlike anything I've ever seen. Because besides New York and the US, I don't think that there is really a place like Seoul in the US. And so it was completely new for me. Just all the people, all the shops, everything was so cramped together. And it made for some great photos as well.
Yeah, like you said, I'm sure the atmosphere back in St. Louis, where
Yeah.
you used to live, and in Seoul is pretty different. I mean, there's a huge difference apparently. Can you tell us a little bit about a few of your favorite shots, your photos that you took in Seoul, and maybe we can show it to the audience while you...
I've been proud of a lot of shots, but a few that kind of like stick out. For the first shot, I don't remember exactly where I took it. I believe it was near Samgakji. There was a guy and he was walking up the hill. It's in front of kind of an older brick style building, but like in the back you can see the newer apartments that are kind of towering over the older brick buildings. And just the way that the guy was walking up the hill, and like you see the old, you see the new, I thought like that kind of told a story about how Seoul is changing, just transitioning into like a new mega metropolis. For another shot, like aesthetically pleasing,
Right.
I took at Tuksum Resort Station, which is my favorite spot in Seoul. And it was a guy and he's just riding his bike along on the sidewalk. Like he's underneath a bridge, so like the structure of the bridge. So he's framed up really nicely there, and like the light is coming in from the side. And I thought it was just kind of a very like peaceful moment. Because like for me, if you can like freeze the entire world in one image, then that's, I think, a really successful shot, and I think it worked pretty well with that one. Yeah.
So I've definitely seen some of your photos flowing through the same theme of connecting the old and the new. Then that, I think, is very symbolic.
Right.
And it's actually what's happening in Seoul right now.
Right,
There's
yeah.
a clash. So one of the photos that I was very struck by was you took a shot of the upside down American flag just last year on October during the protest in Seoul.
Right.
And you've posted this about 1 or 2 weeks ago and commented that it implies something and it means something to you. So could you explain a little bit about the photo?
Yeah. Well, like I didn't really think much of it when I took the shot, but I think, of course, right now what's going on in the US and I think across the world, like there's a lot of issues like back home that are very near and dear to me and the people that I know and people that I love. And I think that there's just a lot of things that I don't agree with that's going on right now. And I think that, for the US, the entire country is very divided right now. There's a lot of things that can be fixed, and I think like the symbol of, the upside down flag, I posted that intentionally, to show people that I think, the country is a little upside down right now. And I think that we really need to work together to kind of write that flag back up.
And I guess this issue has not been as vocal in Korea. It's getting known to people around the country. But I think this matter of hatred against or towards others, it's not just a matter of the US, but it's a global phenomenon that we should gradually keep an eye on.
Right.
And as a photographer, you've definitely posted a photo and sent your messages to the world outside.
Yeah.
Let's change the topic a bit. So for foreigners, right now is not the best time, I guess, but for foreigners who want to travel to come to Korea and enjoy the scenery, which places would you recommend the most? Let's say top 5 or top 3 even.
Oh my gosh. Well, because this whole country is just gorgeous. I think obviously a lot of my work has been done in Seoul, so I see like a lot of Seoul. So if I were to pick like one place in Seoul that I really love, I think like the Iwa Mural Village, like
Mural Village.
like that, because that's also right next to like Naksan Park. It's near Dongdaemun, so there's a lot of stuff going on in that area, and I always seem to like think like if I don't know where to go shoot, I'll go shoot there. But for other places around Korea, I've been to Seoraksan Mountain a couple of times, and it's stunning. Like both times I went in the fall, right as the leaves are changing. It's really, really kind of magical, to be honest. It's really nice there. I love it. And one more place, it's so hard because, like, honestly, there's so many. I think I'm just gonna say, because I live right near Achesan Mountain.
Right.
Because I go to Achesan, I work right by the mountain. So like after work, sometimes I'll go up, and the views over the city of Seoul, like the sun is always kind of setting right behind Namsan Tower, and you get a scale of how large the city is, and I appreciate having lived next to that mountain and being able to go up there so many times. So I'm very biased, but I would say Achesan
Achesan.
is.
And the Iwa Mural Village,
Right
near Naksan Park.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's quite a walk up there, right?
It is, yeah. I'd recommend you better bring like hiking shoes or like walking shoes, because it's.
Or at least avoid the winter.
Yeah, don't go in the winter. I've been to both places in the winter, and I'm not a fan of the cold, but yes.
Do you have any places other than in Seoul that you have visited and took photos of that you would also want to recommend to the viewers?
My favorite place I visited outside of Seoul would be Gyeongju. It was the old capital, I believe the Shilla dynasty.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and there's so much history. I really love history a lot, so that place was really cool. There's lots of like the burial mounds. Just for photography, it was really nice to go shoot, but it was also really interesting to go into the museums and kind of learn more about like the history of Korea. And so much of it is still there and so well preserved. So I would definitely say like Gyeongju was very cool. I also love Jeonju. There's the Hanok village right near there, which was really neat to photograph, but also kind of outside of Jeonju. It's a very different feeling. It's hard to describe, but I thought it was unique. It was interesting to see Jeonju as well. So I say those two cities were really cool. I recommend them.
Great. Before coming to Korea and after 4 years having this experience photographing different parts of the country, how has your life changed?
I think my life has changed. I can't even measure how much my life has changed after living here. Before I came, I was very introverted, and so I've definitely learned to put myself out there. I put myself into very awkward situations. Like one time my internet in my apartment, it just went out, it wasn't working. And so the only way to go fix it is to go to the store and tell them, kind of try to explain to them that I have this issue. And I don't speak any Korean, the guy there doesn't speak any English, but somehow figure out a way to, make them understand that my internet's not working. Because I think if you come here as a foreigner and you're really concerned about, sticking out, if you're afraid of being, the weird foreigner on the subway, you're not going to last very long. And that's definitely how how I felt at first. But I'm glad I stuck it out because I think just I've learned a lot like about myself and what I'm capable of doing. So for that, Korea will always have a very like special place in my heart.
I'm sure brave souls can do a lot of things in other parts of the
Yeah.
world as well,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just in Korea, right?
Right, yeah, of
If
course,
you're
yeah.
timid, you would be more susceptible to any kind of constraints or limits in life. So that's
Yeah.
a very good lesson to learn.
Yeah.
What are your future plans?
Unfortunately, I'll be leaving Korea in about a month. I know. I'm really bummed about it. I don't. You know, part of me doesn't want to leave because this place has meant so much to me. But I'll be moving to Atlanta, Georgia, with my wife, and hopefully I can continue on with my photography journey there. But I know if that doesn't work out, I can always come back to Korea, take a few more
Your
photos.
second home.
Yes, it is definitely my second home.
You're also doing YouTube as well, right?
I do have a small YouTube channel. Yeah, so
Are
I promise
you
I'll put
planning
more
to-
stuff in.
Okay,
Yeah, once I get to Atlanta, I'll be putting more stuff on there.
nice.
So hopefully useful photography
hopefully-
tips.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Thank you, and
you.
I hope you have a safe travel back to the US.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.